Hey everyone, this is Vaughn from Exact Remedy, and today I'm going to talk about lavender oil. And it's if you look at the whole kind of essential oil, family of remedies, most of them are stimulating. Even the ones that are supposedly kind of calming, they're not as calming as I'd like them to be. If you're trying to calm yourself down, you'd be better off using some supplements like the melatonins, the GABAs, and a lot of herbs are really great. The hops, the valerian, even though there's valerian oil. There's a bunch of them. Skullcap. You could just look up any kind of formula for sleeping that's herbal, and the whole list will be there. Poppy, seed extract, and on and on and on. But the oils are not so geared towards relaxing the system, but lavender oil is. By the way, you can get lavender oil as a herbal, and I recommend it. If you're trying to sleep, use it like that. If you're trying to put oil topically, like the essential oil of lavender topically, I think it's excellent. It's a great oil for that, for your skin, for cuts, bruises, infections, things like that. Of course, this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. If you got an infection, go to a doctor. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't feel comfortable dealing with something like that, and it's out of your league, I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm comfortable doing a lot of things to myself, and I have a lot of experience. So I got this great book by Jeffrey Ewan, and one more thing. I don't really like spiked lavender. I like the regular lavenders. Just smell it, you'll know. Try different ones, you'll see the ones that work great for you. Lavender is also great for baths. Great oil for that. It's great for your skin. It's great for cuts and bruises. Not so much bruises, but cuts, things like that. Let's look at what they got over here in the book a little bit. It's an anticoagulant, so if you take it internally, it's gonna thin the blood. It's analgesic, so it's good for pain. It's good for nerves. Antispasmodic. It's hypotensive, so it's gonna relax your blood vessels. And it's going to basically thin your blood and relax the blood vessels. So that's really great. It could prevent potentially a heart attack if you're sleeping and you take some lavender, right? And it's an insect repellent. So right off the bat, those are some great tools. So from a Chinese perspective, releases wind heat. So chills and fever, sinus infections and sore throat. It's great for that. Promotes sweat. Promotes smooth flow of liver qi, headaches, muscle spasms, tightness. Now, if you're dealing with some of these symptoms, muscle spasms, tightness, dysmenorrhea, which is like basically the menstrual cycle isn't working right. It's kind of like there's problems with it, pain. It's coming too fast. It's not coming out right. Whatever, scanty menses, not enough is coming out right. You could actually put on the uterus. You could actually put a poultice right on the liver itself, and that's going to absorb in. Calms the Shen. The Shen is like your spirit in Chinese medicine. Palpitations, nervousness, irritability, insomnia, restlessness, high blood pressure. And it says for pillows. So you can also put a few drops in your pillow, and you're gonna breathe that in, and it's gonna really kind of put you to sleep. So that's another good way of doing it. You can also put in your hand a few drops, rub it together so it'll heat it up, and then take a few breaths. And so essentially it's for liver stagnation and liver and heart heat. So it essentially looks like it dissolves and calms down the liver, and it calms down the whole nervous system. And when we look at Dan Kenner's book, we see that that's exactly what it does. It calms the whole system down. Not only does it calm down the sympathetic, system of the nervous the sympathetic aspect of the nervous system, but also calms down the parasympathetic. It just calms down everything. Okay, it's great for any kind of hyperactivities, hypertension, arrhythmias, tachycardia, anxiety, acidic typhoid. Again, we're looking at if you have certain kind of intestinal infections, you can muscle test and find out if it matches. Like if you have diarrhea or something, you can clear out some of that stuff with like it says typhoid fever right here. Any kind of hyperactive kind of state, like the asthmas, the bronchitis is more like inflammation with infection possibly. lung infections, things like that. You could breathe it in, you could swallow it as a pill. But when you're dealing with kind of more severe cases, work with a professional. Muscle test, work with a professional if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? It's very cool. And in this other book we're looking at, it has a neutral effect on kapha. Vata. It's okay for pitta, but it has a strong kapha reducing element. So it's gonna thin out the system. It's gonna defat it. It's gonna decongest it, and it's going to destagnate the system. Okay. So we're getting a pretty clear image of what it's doing. It's gonna go in there. If you take it internally, or like if it's through the lungs, it's going to open up things, it's going to relax things, it's going to be anti-inflammatory, it's going to calm things down. It's not going to get spasmodic kind of reactions in the heart, the lungs, and wherever. It's going to excuse me. I'm getting a lavender effect right now. I'm relaxing. Talking about the lavender, it's also going to decongest and decoagulate areas of the body, the liver, the uterus, or anywhere else there's like a bruise or kind of aching or whatever like that. Any kind of area where there's congestion going on. So it's going to open that up, which is really good. Now let's look at the kind of infections it is known to beat up. Okay, so if you look at, let's say, fungus, it's going to be for Candida, and it's going to be for Taenia pedis. I think that's foot fungus, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting that from this book. Aromatherapy for health professionals. Lavender. Oh, it's good for a bunch of different type of bacteriums. Top of the list, you have beta-hemolytic streptococci. That's the top of the list. That's a strong affinity. E. coli, enterococci, pneumonia, candida, and it just goes on and on. Very cool. Very cool. Strep, staph. Okay. So you're looking at a pretty powerful, it's a powerhouse. And then a virus is influenza. Let's see what else I got here. Digestion wise, let me see if there's anything in digestion or. Lavandula. Lavender is one of the first oils that they actually distilled. If you're looking at it from the more modern oil perspective, like it comes out of France, right? Modern aromatherapy and the distillation of these oils. But Egypt was using these type of things, these type of oils way before, and I think part of the reason they were able to for a long, preserve these mummies for very, very long periods of time was because they're using these oils, but they could be using other technologies. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that, but that's a suspicion I got. Let's see. So it's got pain relieving qualities, joints, aches, bruises, tons of antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. So it's great for like rosaceas and inflammations of any kind in the body. If your inflammatory markers are high, take maybe a pill of herbal, lavender before you go to sleep. Now, personally, 500, 400 milligrams is too much for me. I get it's too much of a narcotic, too much of a knock you out effect. I think about 100 mixed with some other herbs that are milder would be good, like maybe 100 milligrams of lavender mixed with a little bit of, let's say, 500 milligrams of valerian and a couple drops of, let's say, 1 milligram of melatonin. You could add GABA in there, 200 to 500 milligrams. It's going to put you into a nice sleep. So it's antispasmodic, cardiotonic, calming, sedative. It's good for digestion and flatulence. So of course it's going to be it's like an antibiotic, taking it into your gut, right? And hypotension. Okay, we got that. Let's go one more book here. Well, suppose it normalizes blood sugar output in the liver. Now, if you're getting into that kind of level, like if you're not just trying to go to sleep and you're trying to get into like the internal, kind of biochemical and organ manipulating and, blood sugar manipulating aspects of it, you can, but be careful with using these type of things, essential oils, without muscle testing and keeping track and really watching and paying attention to what's going on with you. Lavender is one of the safer oils, but if somebody, for example, has low blood pressure and you give them lavender oil, you can get them in trouble. You can hurt them. Some people have problems metabolizing certain type of oils and alcohols that's in the lavender. You're probably gonna help most people, but you gotta know what you're doing. If someone has cirrhosis of their liver, you might hurt them. So that could be you. You might hurt yourself. So work with professionals when it comes to some of these things, and if you have no knowledge of it. Now, generally, if you've been using this stuff for years and your mom used it and it's just a family tradition, then you're used to it. You know what they do. That's why I always have people. I always tell people, hey, go learn how to do an enema, because you never know when you're going to need it. You can get electrolytes, hydration, water, sugars into your bloodstream real quickly. And if you don't have any experience in it, it's like, and you're in trouble, it's going to be weird to just do it up, the first time when you're having a fever or something, right? So, you don't have to necessarily go to the hospital to get everything done, but if you don't know what you're doing, you better go to the hospital, because you can end up getting hurt, damaged, end up in a hospital, get into real trouble, die. So these are great tools, but you got to work with them. You got to work with them for a long time. It's like our phones, these cell phones we got. We've been working with them for years and years and years. So you got to use these substances and tools just the same way. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna just use it now that I'm in trouble. No, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of working with things. And then once you do that for a long time, you generally won't get into any trouble, because you're already used to how that works.